Hello guys, so I want you to watch this video.
The color is brownish green, okay, a very dark olive, and I'm going to put it on the Petri dish and allow the solvent to evaporate. So what you're going to see are whitish, something whitish will be deposited. Note the color now. You can see the color now isn't white, but allow the solvent to evaporate, and what do you see? You will begin to see the andrographolides being precipitated out of the tincture. That is the active ingredient, and the fact that it's even precipitating out, as you can see, shows that it has a high content of andrographolides. So I'm going to speed it up at this point. So of course, after the solvent has evaporated, what do you see? You see some whitish stuff deposited on the Petri dish. It's a little bit brownish. That is due to the plant pigments, which are degraded chlorophyll, but you can see clearly that that is white, and those are the andrographolides.
Okay, now you've seen the video. So this is our king of bitters. By the way, I took a lot of it along with me because it's a very good health aid. You know, you can use it for so many things. You know what I mean? So the video that I showed you earlier on was a video of me putting some drops of our king of bitters tincture on a Petri dish and then allowing the solvent to evaporate so that you can see the precipitates, which are the andrographolides. Now, the reason why I said I first of all showed that video is because I'm going somewhere. Now, somebody messaged me. This happens to me almost all the time I travel, because a lot of times when I travel, people assume that I have left my business in the hands of unscrupulous people who will be maybe adulterating products. So a woman sent a message to our WhatsApp, and she said since she's been buying the king of bitters in 2020, that for the first time ever she dropped it in water and she did not see the white precipitate, which shows that it has andrographolides. So initially when she sent the message, I assumed what she was saying is that she wasn't feeling the effects of the king of bitters. So I was asking her, what do you mean by the effects? Can you expatiate further? So she said no, that she didn't see the andrographolide precipitating out of the... So I asked my manager to find out how she did it, and we realized that what she was doing was she was dropping the king of bitters in a glass of water and observing it. Of all the things I've ever done, have you ever seen nobody? See, I've been making videos on, you know, how to identify plant chemicals in you know, products. Have you ever seen me drop it inside water as proof that the product has that particular chemical? No. In fact, as a matter of fact, for the king of bitters, what I did was I dropped the king of bitters on a Petri dish and allowed it to evaporate, and then you see the thin film, which was what I showed earlier. So I now told her, I said, first of all, it wasn't water I was dropping it into. Now, when you want to do things, please be absolutely precise in the way you replicate things, because that was just a simple test. There are other tests for andrographolides, but that is the simplest test that anybody can do. Now, if you want to do it, you have to do it exactly the way it was shown to you, not do it in your own way and expect results. Now, the thing with what the problem with what she did was that dropping it inside water can come from different sources. We all know in Nigeria that there is no unified source of water. I mean, water is treated in different ways, different chemicals. People that do water purification, you know, you can purify water by ozone, you can purify by chlorine, you can do all manner of modifications to the water. You can add certain chemicals to the water, and that in itself can alter the chemical structure or the chemistry of the water itself. So when you want to do something, you are introducing a variable into a simple experiment, and you are not getting the exact result, and you are thinking it is the product, not realizing that the water is the variable, and it isn't even water that we use for testing. So please, when I do things on the page, replicate it exactly the way I did it. It was so bad that, you know, I was on the road and my manager kept calling me. Oh, somebody said there's something wrong with the batch of the King of Bitters. I said there's nothing wrong with it. I made it. I even took some of it abroad. See that there's nothing wrong with it. Say yes, she said there's something wrong with it. I said there's nothing wrong with it. So I now had to get my manager to go to where I kept the stock, because I do these things in large amounts. I had a 5-liter jar of it, so I told her to bring out the 5-liter jar and get some drops, get a clean Petri dish from my lab, and replicate that experiment, video it and send to the, because it's not a matter of, oh, it's not a big deal. See, sometimes when people say such things, it's a big deal for me. Why? Because I'm a scientist. Everything I make is supposed to be uniform. There should never be any variation in any product that you make as a scientist, because if there is any variation in it, you will have what? Variable responses. That means if you don't make a product exactly the way it's supposed to be made, you will not have the exact same response. And it's also an insinuation that we are maybe sloppy, or we are fraudulent, or we are not doing things properly. So that's just the thing, you know. That's why I bothered to ask, but really it's not fair. Please, that's why I'm making this video to let people to know that if you want to replicate something, do it exactly the way you saw it done. If you don't know how to do it, ask questions. Don't do it yourself and then you get a different result, and then you come crying the product is fake. The product is not fake. My manager replicated it, and she saw the exact same, she got the exact same results. So please, let's be guided, okay? Things are not, they are not simple like that. You know, the chemistry of everything around us is very complicated. There are so many things you have to bring into consideration. Okay, and the main purpose why I even make such videos and I post is a fun way of teaching people, you know, teaching chemistry in a very simplified way that makes it fun for people to understand. And I enjoy doing it, but I don't want to be doing things like that and then end up confusing people because they simply. So my advice is, anything you see like that, follow it to the letter. If you cannot do it exactly the way you saw it on the page, don't do it, because every single reason why, or every single step, there is a reason why it was done that way.